Hi, I'm David Fleming, and I want to welcome you to the YouTube channel of Disciples Ignited, where we are focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now, over the past couple of videos, we've been talking about desperate praying, and we've been using Hannah, the mother of Prophet Samuel, as an example of this. Now, the background of Hannah's story was that she couldn't have any children. And after year after year after year of not getting pregnant, she became very desperate in her prayers. In fact, her desperation in prayer led Hannah to make this very bold and very important promise to the Lord. Let me read it to you. We find it in 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 11. Listen to this. And she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. Whoa! Now, what was this promise that Hannah was making to the Lord? Well, this was what was called a Nazarite vow. Now, what a Nazarite vow entailed is spoken of in detail in Numbers chapter 6, verses 1 through 21. Instead of reading that whole passage to you, I'm just going to give it to you in a nutshell. Basically, a Nazarite vow meant that this person is going to be dedicated to the Lord completely during the term of that Nazarite vow. Now, a Nazarite vow could be a short term, long term, or it could be for life. Now, in Prophet Samuel's case, he was a Nazarite from the day he was born to the day that he died and went to be with the Lord. Now, as a Nazarite, you are fully dedicated to the Lord 100%, but this is also going to be physically noticeable to everybody that sees you because of some of the requirements of a Nazarite vow. First of all, no cutting of the hair. That meant that Prophet Samuel never had a haircut at all. It also meant that there was no drinking of alcoholic beverages at all, not even wine. Now, you remember this, wine was a staple in the Jewish diet of the Old Testament. And so that meant that Samuel was going to be denied that. Also, that he would never have any contact with dead bodies. But why did the Lord bring Hannah to the point to where she made a Nazarite vow? Because Samuel was going to play a very important part in what God wanted to accomplish. And it was going to require someone that was going to be totally dedicated to the Lord, 100%. And so he started Samuel's life out right. He caused his life to be, from the very beginning, to be totally dedicated to him. He was promised to the Lord by Hannah, his mother, and Samuel, thankfully, kept that promise. There's more to be learned about this because it accomplished great things in Samuel's life, and it all started with this desperate praying of Hannah that led to a bold promise from Hannah to a promise that was kept by Prophet Samuel. We'll learn more about this tomorrow.